Oh, you always muting and unmuting me. Stop doing that. You ruined my intro. How could you? But that's okay. I'll do it again. Hello, my internet fans. Welcome to this edition of Stat Boy Sports Bar. I'm the host, the owner, the proprietor of Stat Boy Sports Bar. That's me. And the gentleman in the smaller window is the producer, and he is the West Coast professor, my brother, who is celebrating 18 years of being on the internet with you. And he's got a beautiful drink. What do you got there? What are you drinking?
Today, I drink the honey jack. I don't drink. I don't drink
He
the.
drinks the honey
I,
jack.
I don't drink the vodka. I drink the honey jack like the pussycat bear Winnie the Pooh.
And me, I've got a
Cheers, Brandon.
bottle of Stella. Cheers, brother.
Stella.
Mm, Stella. I'm going to take another hit.
We are on the threshold,
Mm.
Uncle Goofy, of
Of.
history.
Yes, we are.
But we'll get there later in the discussion.
No, let's talk about it now. Let's talk about some baseball.
Okay, well let's talk about the fact
Here,
that your brother's already causing shit in the chat room.
hey,
You know what, Jay? Jay, either pour a
hey,
drink
I'm
or shut the
wearing
hell
your
up.
shirt, bro.
That's right.
Be
That's
nice.
right. That's right. Mikey's wearing your shirt and debuting
Yeah,
for the first time anywhere on the internet. I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to take over here for just a second.
go ahead.
This is the official Jeff Meacham Network shirt, kids. There it is, right there. JeffMeachamNetwork.com, merch store, the YouTube, Anchor, all that happy shit. If you're here now, you know how to get there. So just get there and buy the shirt. Very good. And while you're there,
Buy a
buy the
shirt.
Renegade shirt, because the Renegade shirt, especially in purple, because we love purple on the Renegade. So buy that shirt. Buy it in bulk, kids.
There it
So,
is.
and if you're looking for how the site looks, it looks like this. So there you go. Wait, oh,
Oh,
I
that
think
was,
that's
that
pretty
was
cool.
fast.
Okay. I've had a very fast kind of day, but those are the D18 department of the Jeff Meacham Network store. So there you go. There are those four shirts. The shirt on the immediate left is on its way. It should be here Friday. So hopefully it'll be there. It will be there to record dads this week, but it is what it is, as the dream would say. All right, on to
Yes,
the
it is.
baseball.
On to the baseball, and if you have been watching the news, especially KTLA, that's what they lead off after every game. It's like we're one game away, we're two games away, we're three games away. We're okay. I am pleading that the Dodgers win tonight
Yes.
so I can stop hearing about it because as much as I want the Dodgers to win, I want to hear about other news that's not about the California fires and the election or the pandemic,
Okay. Here's
if that's possible.
well, here's the thing. According to Jeff Meacham's old T-shirts on the old on the shitty store, the problem with the news is they're not talking about what they should be talking about, which is the pandemic, which is the genocide going on in Africa. Again, they're talking about the stupid election because they can't get over the fact that we're a goddamn circus. So anyway, that's on tomorrow's Greg
Anyway,
Sherry show, by the way.
really,
Oh yeah, Greg's
well,
fired
there's a
up.
bit of a is he now?
Oh yeah,
He should be happy about what happened with the Steelers.
he's very excited about that. But he said flat out, you might want to have yourself in the inset like on Mikey's show because it's going to get good tomorrow.
It's going to get good. Well,
10
the
a.m.
biggest
Pacific
news,
time, kids.
there you go. The biggest news, of course, out of the World Series is what happened at the end of Game 4. So here's the scenario. The teams were going back and forth from about the sixth inning left to the end of the game. We're
Yeah.
in the bottom of the ninth. Here's the scenario, and we have the footage. So
Mm-hmm.
Ken Jensen put a couple runners on base,
As he do.
and we're going to let the pitch speak. So go ahead, Joe Buck.
Well, just set it up because we're in the bottom of the ninth. We're Dodgers are ahead by a run. There's two outs. Jensen puts two on, and this young kid who's got no more, he's got more peach fuzz on his face than I do. It seems like, and this shit happens. Where's there it is? What the fuck?
What
Jeez.
happened? Okay, now I got the messages from my brothers here, and I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And they're like, look at the final play. I looked at the final
Just
play. Now, here's the thing. yeah, here. Okay, I mean, let's talk about Chris Taylor here. A routine ground ball in right field
Yep.
that can be redeemable.
Yeah.
Throwing the ball to Massey, not a problem.
Yeah.
Muncy to Smith, and he loses the ball. Really, the one thing you're supposed to hold on to. If that play would have gone perfectly, we would not be in this situation, and the Dodgers would have won that game. We would have won Game 5. They would have been the champs by now. We all would have been having Dodger blue, but no. So, this is almost the worst error since Buckner between the legs.
I still say Bill's worse because he just didn't bend over far enough. That's just ridiculous.
And that happened, what, in
And
86?
something like that. And Pete Rose is good enough to leave him tickets for WrestleMania. He couldn't been able to pick him up. What a terrible person Bill Buckner is, for real. Like, seriously.
It's one of the
I said
worst
what I
calls ever in baseball, that Buckner
said.
call.
It's
The only thing good
just
about that call was it was done by Vin Scully.
right as it should be. No, yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there. I was, let's see, was that Friday or was that Saturday? The game 4.
The 24th, which was 3 days ago, which was
Saturday night. Okay,
Saturday.
so I was finishing up my literally 2 day long Chucky binge. Did the entire 7 movie saga, and that was a lot of Chucky. I get up, I open my studio door, go in the living room, literally watch a last play, and they just fall apart. I spent the entire night just what the fuck, and I was like, oh my god, this thing should be over tomorrow, and it's not going to be now. Because
Well,
and
we're gonna hope that it's
I give
today.
I give Taylor plenty of shit for his hitting because he is the strikeout king, but he doesn't do that very often on defense, and he bobbled it. They charged the error to him, but let's be real. Smith not making that tag with the ball in his glove was just little league error bullshit. It was terrible. Like, let's not let's not take credit away from Smith for royally fucking that up. Because, yeah, Taylor bobbled it, but they could have salvaged it and had a tie at extra innings. Smith's error cost him the game, flat out.
Yes, it did. Like I said, that hasn't happened since 1986. So as far as Game 6 goes tonight, Blake Snell is going to pitch for the Rays, and Roberts is going with the rookie Tony Gonsolin. He's not going with. I think he should put Kershaw back on the plate,
Kershaw pitched the other night. He can't pitch right now.
but he pitched Game 3 or Game 4. Because I know
He
he
pitched
pitched
last game. He pitched last game. He can't start. Oh, sorry, 2 games ago. 2 games ago, so he can't start. So sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
And then
the way they have. I mean,
then a funny thing happened at work. There were Dodger fans at work, and so I'm like, hey, what happened with the game? And they're like, man, it's all Jensen's fault. And
no.
I went into this huge rant in my work costume with my mask on, with my microphone, and I'm like, you can't blame Jensen. Blame the right fielder. And everyone's like, no. I'm like, what? You want to blame Roberts? No. You had to have been there to see. It was amazing. But we're gonna see what happens. And here's a bit of a programming thing. We're gonna monitor the game after we close the bar down.
Yeah.
And if the Dodgers look like they're about to pull this off, we are going to go live. We're going to reopen the sports bar and do like a watch along
Hmm.
from about the 8th inning to the end of the game. That way,
Yeah.
if the Dodgers pull this off, we're gonna do like breaking news.
Yeah.
So
The top of the
come
8th. If it's
back
looking
with that.
good, we're going live. And
I say we go live with regardless of the score.
maybe we'll see. Your female coworker's back at it with the shenanigans.
Anyone's better than Kershaw.
Harley, baby, with all
Wow.
due, I don't know you from Eve, but Kershaw has got us to the fucking dance more than once, and we've just choked on his ass. Not his fault, for real. So
I'm glad Harley Baby 45 is back. And she has a Stat Boy shirt. We have to get her a new one too. We have to get her a new Stat Boy shirt as well. Who else is
the
in
Stat Boy
the
Sports Bar shirt.
chat room? That's Yeah.
Well,
Who else is in the chat room talking
let's
about the
take a look. Michael Gonzalez is
Dodgers?
asking you your
Let's take
favorite
a look.
NFL team.
Wow. Okay, like I said before in rants past, I really don't have a team. I jump from team to team. It started all out with San Francisco during the Montana and Rice years, and then I switched to New Orleans during Katrina. I switched to New England during the perfect season years. I bounce around. I bounce around. I bounce around.
JJ and I are fond of
Right
giving Mikey
now,
shit for this.
yes, it's called bandwagon hopping, and I'm not
Good.
going to deny it anymore.
Okay,
I
good.
denied it for years. I
Good. I'm glad
they would
because
like I it's like the Browns could be winning, and I'm like, oh, I'm a Browns fan now. I like the Browns. The Ravens could be winning. I like the Ravens. You know, honestly though, I feel really bad for the Cowboys, and I really want them to pull this out. So I could even say that the Cowboys are one of my favorite teams. So as far as a specific general team, I don't have one. I my and Renegade says this. He says he's a hockey fan. So I'm going to say I'm a football fan. I'm going to steal that from him. I really don't have a team. I really don't have a player, but I want the Cowboys to pull things off because they've had enough heartache in 2020 as it is. So there you go.
I just want the Cowboys to break even for the love of God. Even season 8-8. Just that's what I'm shooting for at this point.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Yeah, and as far as Mikey said, yeah, we are very quick to point out in the old Casa 18 studios that Mikey became an Angels fan in 2002 and a Ducks fan in 2007.
Yep.
So there you go. So,
Yep. There.
his own local teams even.
Well,
He
I
didn't even
think
jump on them. So
I think I was maybe earlier with the Ducks because of the movies and the cartoons and Disney owned
right.
them. But I think I
Oh
really
god, the
didn't start
cartoons.
following the team
Oh my
until
god, I just remember those cartoons. I didn't remember those cartoons. You just said
it
it.
wasn't
Jesus
a bad
Christ.
cartoon. I
Oh,
love the
so
cartoons on
bad.
the Disney
It was
Channel.
so bad, dude. Oh, so bad. It was so hokey. It was so bad. Oh, good lord. All right, let's see here. Steelers are undefeated, baby. Big G. Yes, they are, Big G.
Yes, Big
They're
Baller
the only
G.
team. They're the last team
Yep.
standing. Colin says, "Hey fam."
We're
Colin,
gonna.
by the way, I didn't
Hello,
give Colin
Colin.
near enough credit yesterday. He joined my anniversary show on Talk Wrestling yesterday. Along with Aaron came
Yep.
on the air. I was so happy, and that was so cool to see Aaron.
Yep.
You were there, of course. Colin was a great contributor to that show, and I really appreciate having Colin because Colin's part of the team on NoDQ, but he's also been a fan from day one of Talk Wrestling. So it was cool to have that joint perspective. It was very cool to have him there and Big G and you who came along for the ride after I moved in. It's been
Yep.
it was a very weird experience yesterday. I gotta say, I felt very full of my own shit when we signed off. To be perfectly honest with you, so I'm still, okay. Anyway, so let's see here. Harley Baby says just pick a team and stick with it. No, it's his show. He doesn't have to. So
It's kind of hard to when teams bounce around all over the.
yeah.
Even
Michael
at
says
one
Giants are
point,
coming back
I
to
was
win the division.
almost forced to be a.
Right,
No.
yeah. If the
No.
Giants win the
Sorry,
division,
Michael,
I
I'm not
will.
gonna-
Like I said, yesterday with or Sunday, was it Sunday? Was it Sunday or yesterday?
I think,
If Otis
I think it
wins
was
the WWE
yesterday.
Championship, I'll praise the Ducks. If the Giants actually win the division, I will do something on that level. We'll figure it out as we go.
We'll put you in a Ducks
NFC East
jersey.
is the worst. Oh yes, NFC,
Yes,
I'm sorry.
we've established that. We've established.
I'll,
I said we'll put you in a Ducks jersey if the Giants win the division.
I'll tell you what. If the Giants win the division, somebody get me a movie one Ducks jersey, and I'll wear it.
Yeah.
D5
Yes,
Ducks.
Big Baller G. We have declared that the NFC East is the worst, but because of the playoff structure, one of those teams is allowed in, and that's going to be one of the follow-ups for starting week 8. After we go
Right.
through all the rankings and everything, I'm working on something for week 8 as well. But we're not going to start talking about week 8 until we get into week 7, and we're going to start that right now.
Dun, dun, dun,
Game number 1 was on Thursday night, and of course it was a rivalry that goes back who knows how far, with the Giants taking on the Eagles. And the big play on that game, and of course the funniest thing to happen in all of week 7, if you missed this, I'm just going to set up the scene again. Daniel Jones, the quarterback for the Giants, gets a lucky breakaway, and just watch what happens.
Yeah, lucky.
Just watch. Yeah.
From the 12, Jones keeps, gets a block, takes off, and he is gone. Trying to stay up.
Don't!
Absolutely all alone, and he tripped.
Friends,
That's
that
awesome.
was an 80-yard run. That is the highest rush by a quarterback since 1975. No quarterback has gone that far and not scored for the last 35 years. In fact, he was actually clocked at running 21 miles per hour. He could have
If it
beaten a
was
car
75,
down an
it was
alley
45, Mikey.
45 years ago, excuse me. That's like playing NFL Blitz and just hitting the wrong button, like hitting the button that makes your character dive. Like you think you're going to make a 20-yard leap into the end zone. But I mean, come on. I mean, and of course, question?
Does NFL Blitz
You
still
were going to say
exist?
something, go ahead.
Does
Probably
NFL Blitz still
only in
exist?
video arcades. I don't think so.
We need.
It's all Madden now.
We need to have them. We need to have them sponsors at this point because we talk about it every week. So.
Yeah, we do. But Carson Wentz went 25 of 43 for 359 yards. Daniel Jones went 20 for 187 yards. Each had 2 touchdowns. And in the rivalry, Philadelphia has now beaten New York 8 straight games. New York was on their way to winning. They had an 11-point lead with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Carson Wentz finally decided to play and rally the team back to give Philadelphia the win, 22-11. I don't know what more you can say about this. I mean, and now the Eagles fans can say "Fly, Philly, fly," but that play is going to be.
Eagles haters will still say "Die Eagles, die."
Well, yeah, but and man, oh man, just 80 yards, man, 80 yards, 80 yards. And I believe on Talk Wrestling, I think Michael claimed that he said that he did not want me to put the Giants at the bottom. Don't worry, Michael. The Giants are not at the bottom. They actually did win a game this season. So we all know who's going to be at the bottom of the list. We all know that one.
As long as the Jets exist, everything will be okay for you. Don't worry, Michael.
Exactly. Just so as a reminder, also the teams that were off this week in Week 7 were the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Vikings, and the Colts. Those 4 teams got to take a break. Game number 2 was the Lions and the Falcons. Matt Stafford went 25 of 36 for 340 yards. Matt Ryan went 31 of 42 for 338 yards. As the Lions come back with a last-minute play, they end up winning. They squeak out the victory 23-22. Matt Ryan has now thrown for 300 or more yards for the 22nd time in his career since 2018, so good for him. And I picked Detroit, and they squeaked it out, so thank you, Detroit, for giving me that win. Next game, game number 3, another battle in Ohio. The Browns took on the Bengals, and the Browns are back in the game, and they ended up winning 37-34. Baker Mayfield did the best performance of his career so far in this season, 22 of 28, 297 yards for 5 big touchdowns. Joe Burrow, 35 of 47, 406 yards for 3 touchdowns. Unfortunately, Cleveland did not cover the point spread. They needed 1 more point to do that, so that's a loss for me. But at least they won, and that one makes me happy.
Did you mention Baltimore yet? I missed it. If you did, I'm sorry.
No, I have not.
Okay. Joe, when we get to the Baltimore game, we'll adjust your questions.
But
sir.
Baltimore was off this week. Baltimore had a bye week.
Well, then hell with it.
Does he have a question?
What do you think about the Ravens picking up Dez Bryant? That pisses me the hell off.
Breaking news. I did see that before we went live, and when I saw that, I'm thinking, hasn't Dallas suffered enough? I mean, first we lose, and first Dak gets hurt, then Andy pops up and he gets hurt, and now Bryant is going to the Ravens. I mean, come on, what? This is not fair. Bryant as much as I know about Des Bryant, he's a pretty good player. Am I wrong in this? I mean,
No,
he and
Dez.
yeah.
The thing is, Dez never really hit his potential in Arlington. He just didn't. So it's it's just kind of one of those things. He was great here like I'm in fucking Dallas. He was great with Dallas, but he didn't really get over that mark that he should have got. We all felt right. So is
I
what
mean,
it
and
is.
he
However,
took
I
Michael
did.
Irvin's number
Yeah,
88,
that's
right?
interesting. Right? Yeah, he did.
I thought once a number was didn't they retire Irvin's number?
They may have. I don't know that for sure though.
See, I
We'll have to
just don't
get.
get how other players can use other players' numbers. That's something that I don't get.
We'll
But
have to get an outside
yeah, I
step way to
mean,
check that while we're on the air here.
yeah, I mean, but hey, if he can do the job in Baltimore, more power to him. But that's just a huge low. I think that's an even more of a crushing blow to Dallas than losing Dalton.
Right,
Anyway,
I agree.
but yeah,
Funny enough,
yeah.
though, it's funny that you mentioned Dallas and the continued struggles that the Cowboys are having. I did manage to get my hands on their new fight song. That's a true story. I did manage to get an advanced copy of that. Let me just fix the window here. I just fucked everything up here. There we go. Okay, hang on one second.
Oh my god, bro. Bro, you know I love you, but I mean, I'm going CPR on the Cowboys here. Okay, I'm bringing them back. I really am.
It's bad, man. It's bad.
I get that it's bad. I get that it's five. I get it. I get that the NFC East is the worst division, but that means they still have a chance. Okay, the only thing that's stopping them from being in the top spot is that stupid tie game from Philadelphia. That's the only thing that's stopping them.
And why? Because fuck the Eagles. That's why. Here we go. Big G with the cheer up
Big G.
comment. If Steelers go undefeated, I will make a nice donation to the Jeff Meacham Network. There you go. I like that. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Please do. We would greatly appreciate that.
Well, as the brain would
I,
say,
I would love to hear
as the
that.
brain would say, you won't offend me with cash. So that's it.
Because here's the thing: if the Eagles would have lost that game, all three teams would be 2-5, and
Right.
depending on the tiebreaker, with Philadelphia, Washington, and Dallas, one of those teams, and I would hope it would be Dallas because they can. We'll just see what happens in the
The
rest of the
tiebreaker's not in
NFC
our favor.
East.
I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, we're
Game
off
number
into the weeds there for a
4.
little bit. Yeah.
We're off into the
Only,
weeds, yeah.
only on game 4. Oh my god.
Well, let me have a to the Cowboys. Here you go.
Salud.
Damn it! Still all over myself on that one. I
Spaz.
can't hold my liquor.
I don't know if this
Green
is
Bay
breaking
took on
news,
Houston
but
and ended up. AB went to Tampa Bay.
looks like it.
Oh my God! Come on.
Tampa is stacking them up back there, baby.
They don't need him in Tampa. They've got to deal with Brady and Gronk. They don't need AB. And bad call. I think. Flag on the play. Come on.
I think it's a great call. I'm looking forward to Tampa Bay just whooping that ass the rest of the way.
I'm not too sure on that one. Anyway, the Packers took on the Texans and ended up beating them 35-20. Aaron Rodgers went 23 of 34 for 283 yards, 4 big touchdowns. Deshaun Watson 29 of 39, 309 yards, 2 touchdowns. Green Bay is back after their messed up week last week, and they covered the point spread, which was a good thing for that. Go Pack Go. Last week it was no Pack No. This week it's Go Pack Go. Next up, the Saints took on the Panthers, and Drew Brees got a quarterback accomplishment. I believe he's the only quarterback to have 7,000 pass completions. Congratulations, Drew. You're still
Yeah.
not the GOAT. We've had that conversation before.
Oh,
Drew
yeah.
Brees went 29 of 36 for 287 yards, 2 touchdowns. Teddy Bridgewater 23 of 28 for 254 yards. New Orleans has defeated Carolina 6 out of the 7 matchups, and Carolina covers the point spread for me, putting me at 4-1 so far in the morning games. I am happy about that.
There you
Next
go.
up, the Bills took on the Jets, and in another game where it looked like the Jets were going to win, guess what happened? As if you didn't know already, the Bills end up beating the Jets 18-10. Josh Allen went 30 of 43 for 307 yards. Sam Darnold 12 of 23 for only 120 yards, but there's no surprise there. And here's something. Apparently, Sam Darnold has been sacked in 21 games straight, but is that really an accomplishment? Probably not, because he's on the Jets. At least he's not. At least he hasn't been sacked. And with something I'm working on, Carson Wentz of the Eagles in Week 1 got sacked 8 times. So what does that tell you? Your defense is either not waking up, and it's like everywhere you turn, he gets sacked. But to have a sack in every game, that's worse than getting sacked 8 times in one game, I would think. And so
Eagles suck.
far,
I
the
don't give a
Jets
shit
can't
either way.
even put points on the board. Exactly. The Jets can't even put points on the board because we are 7 weeks in. We're almost halfway through the season, and they still haven't scored 100 points. They are the only team in the league that are less than 100 points. That's sad. Harley Baby saying, "Go Saints." She's a who dat girl, I guess.
Redneck says nothing to lose by signing Brown and essentially a 3-month contract for very little money. I agree. It's pretty much okay. Let's just give him something to do. So, and then G says
Who's probably an option.
Bruce Arians told A be a team player. He's gone. So there you go. He's got the mandate. Don't fuck around, Brown. Simple as that.
And don't forget, next week in Week 8 is the big Jets Chiefs debacle. So with Le'Veon Bell coming in, at this point I don't see one player turning the team around. Now, if by some miracle the Jets can pull off a victory over the Chiefs because of one player, and they finally get that one win, I still don't think it's going to be enough for them to get out of the bottom. They're going to need to at least win twice with Le'Veon Bell backing them up somehow. But we're going to wait and see on Week 8. But let's get through Week 7 first.
There you go.
And of course, we have the debacle in Dallas. Washington took on Dallas and just steamrolled them 25-3. Andy Dalton went 9 of 19 for only 75 yards. Ben DiNucci had to come in thanks to a late third quarter hit. So now Dalton's on concussion protocol. We don't know what's up with him. Kyle Allen went 15 of 25 for 194 yards, 2 touchdowns. And luckily there was no point spread. It was just pick the winner. I went with Dallas. I gave them the shot. That didn't happen. And so now, what do we know about Ben DiNucci, third string quarterback? Do we know anything about him?
Not a goddamn thing.
Nothing?
I have no idea. I wasn't prepared to have to worry about that after 1 week with Andy. You know, I wasn't ready for that contingency. Fucker took him out. Dirty hit, piece of shit.
Yeah, it was a dirty hit too, and that's what made it even more sad. I mean, if it was a normal hit, yes, but it was a late hit. Late hits are popping up like crazy. I mean, it's like almost every game that I watched this weekend. It's like, personal foul, late hit, 15 yards, whatever. And that was another thing in NFL Blitz too. I mean, you could dogpile the quarterback in that game and not get penalized, but in reality, you're just flying all over the place. And do you want to hit somebody that bad? Really? I don't know.
I having played football, late hits chat my ass. It just irritates the shit out of me. I hate it so much.
Yeah, they can be
having
rough,
played the game
deadly,
and having concussions in my recent past and my long-term past, I don't do well with seeing those and hearing about it, especially with my own team. It's like fuck. Anyway.
And just hearing the crunch of helmet to helmet or shoulder pad to shoulder pad, that's scary as too. And you see him down, and you're like, oh my god, is he going to get up? Is he going to get up? Yeah. Is he breathing? Is he moving? You don't want to do that. Yeah, we had another overtime game. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Okay. We had another overtime game as the Arizona Cardinals had to go into overtime to take on the then undefeated Seattle Seahawks. But thanks to a missed field goal, that would have won the game for Seattle, we went to overtime. Arizona got it, ends up winning 37-34. And Kyler Murray went 34 of 48 for 360 yards, 3 touchdowns. Russell Wilson, 33 of 50 for 388 yards, 3 more touchdowns to his already 22 touchdowns. He's got 22 touchdowns so far, and I still think he's the number one quarterback so far. I am working on something on that for week 8, for the midseason stats that I'm working on. I'll explain that in just a bit. But Seattle, who was undefeated and the number one spot. Spoiler alert: they
Excuse
ain't
me,
going to be
sorry.
number one no more. But and you'll see why when we talk about it in just a little bit. Tampa Bay took on Las Vegas and ended up scoring the most points and getting the win for Week 7. They get the top spot only for Week 7, scoring with a final score of 45-20. Tom Brady, the ageless wonder, 33 of 45 for 369, 4 big touchdowns. Derek Carr, 24 of 36 for 284 yards. And the bromance of Brady and Gronk continue to score touchdowns together. These two have now tied the Young and Rice era back in the day. They've gone past 90 quarterbacks, 90 touchdowns between the two of them. It's just I'm calling it a bromance. I'm calling it a football bromance. That's what hashtag that. These two are just Gronk is Brady's go-to guy when it comes time, when it's crunch time, when you need a touchdown. Just throw to Gronk. He'll go in and do his thing. Thoughts?
Just what
Nothing
can you
about Gronk, huh?
say? I gave Brady shit for a long time because of working for fuck you Belichick, but dude, him and Rob are just whooping that ass down in Tampa. What can I say? It's they're awesome.
Ooh, whew. Now it's kicking in, boy. I tell you.
Easy there, Baba Louie.
But it's good. Okay.
Mikey,
San
remember,
Francisco
I'm
took
producer
on
guy. I'm Ed McMahon. You're Johnny Carson here. You gotta come on. So, actually, if I'm producer guy, I'm freaking Gilman. You're Regis. So there you go.
Notre Dame, Notre Dame, Notre Dame. Gelman. Did you see what Notre Dame did to USC last week?
Jake Sherry will like that because
He has to throw the
he
ball.
likes Notre Dame too. So there you go.
He's buried at Notre Dame too. They buried him at Notre Dame.
I know.
That's a good that's a good place to go.
Regis is good people. I love Regis.
I, Regis was one of the best, and
Yes,
I know
absolutely.
we're going off into the weeds now, but
I don't give a shit.
I loved it when he talked about Notre Dame, and um, it's like every time they won, he would just think that they were the greatest team in the world, and when he lost, he would look directly into the camera, and he's like, "What's going on, coach?" So,
Yeah.
and then I think
Mondays
there
were
actually
always
was a
good, one way or the other.
oh yeah, and then I think there was actually when Notre Dame did play USC, and he's like, "We're gonna take down the Trojans," and I think I even told my parents at the time, I'm like, I have to do what Regis says. I know you guys are Trojan fans, but Regis says they're gonna win, and I have to go with them and whatnot. And I actually I got lucky one time when I was working at Disneyland. I think it was toward the holidays. The Trojan marching band. I got to see them backstage practicing, and they were playing the fight song, and I kind of broke protocol, and I kind of had my phone out, and so I kind of secretly recorded it, which was a big no-no backstage at Disneyland. You're not supposed to record backstage, but I'm like,
Nope.
doggone it, when am I going to get this chance? It's the USC fight song, and I think I deleted it maybe 2 weeks later, but I'm like,
There
this
you
is
go.
this is awesome.
Yep.
There it is. San Francisco took on New England and ended up stomping them all over. Nope, I can't handle my booze. Nope, I'm a lightweight. I'm sorry. Nope.
It's about to get fun,
But
kids.
in another funny story, this brings up. I've been to Vegas 3 times in the last 6 months, and and while I'm gambling, I'm drinking, and it's nothing. And just this past couple of days ago, after a day of work, I'm sitting with Dory, my roommate. I'm like, you want to have a glass of wine? She's like, yeah, let's have a glass of wine. We've had a rough day. So we sat down, we had a glass of wine, and we're watching Haven on Netflix. Got through
Okay.
2 episodes late night, and I went straight to bed. Best night's sleep ever. After one glass of wine, here I'm
Dude.
drinking a quarter bottle of the stuff, and
Yeah. Yeah, I
is it
have
the wine? I don't know.
I have long been told that wine is, a glass of wine every now and then to relax the nerves and get you to sleep is not a bad thing.
And it's
Copious
good for your
amounts.
heart. Red wine is actually, yeah, yeah. If you
Yeah,
drink too much, that's we
everything in
PSA.
moderation,
We here at the
shitting.
sport, yeah, exactly. We here at the sports bar, we do not want you guys to, binge drink. We want you to drink responsibly, and give up your keys and everything like that. Don't drink and drive. That's a standard given. Don't drink with dinner, drink for a celebration, but know when to quit. So apparently that was one of my problems in the younger days too. San Francisco took on New England and ended up crushing them 33-6. Jimmy Garoppolo went 20 of 25. Is that a giggle I hear back there because
Maybe.
of the Patriots' loss?
Uh huh.
Cam Newton went only 9 of 15 for 98 yards. Jared Stidham came in 6 out of 10. And this is the worst loss for the Patriots at home since 2027 points. What's going on, New England? Cam Newton's quarterback rating has declined steadily. Now, I don't want to say it's because of COVID. He didn't play for 2 weeks because of COVID. I get that. He should have come back stronger and stronger, but instead he just down, 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 down. What's up? What's going on here? I mean, come on. The
How the
Patriots
mighty
have
have
have,
fallen, and
have
I love every bit of the decline.
yes they have, and they need to stop doing that.
Did I
And
mention fuck you,
now
Belichick yet?
let's bring. I think you have.
Okay, well, just in case, fuck you,
I think
Belichick.
you actually
All right.
have.
Okay, all right, very good. All right.
Okay. Do we have Big Baller G in the studio? Does he want to come in and
Big Baller G
start
is actually
praising?
heading
Because
off to go get ready for. If you let me answer your question, he's actually getting ready to go to the NoDQ review. So he'll be on it. He'll be on at 7 with Aaron and the team.
oh, Big Ball, and I
So
told him he'd to be ready about 3 o'clock. Well, he and Greg Cherry are both partying all night long because the Steelers took on the Titans in the big 5-0 matchup and ended up winning 27-24. Roethlisberger went 32 of 49 for 260 yards. Ryan Tannehill only went 18 of 30. This is only the second 6-0 start for the Steelers. What more can you say about Steeler Nation, baby?
that's it, baby. There you go.
You can't be undefeated forever. That's for the Titans, of course. And I'm not really hating on the Titans, but I've got a friend on Facebook. He is a diehard Titans fan for who knows what, and he's like, "Let's tighten up, baby," and all that. So, well, not anymore. So, Steelers are 6-0, and they're up there, Steel Nation, and I think even I think it was Big Baller G who put a post up. He's like, "How far can the Steelers go with their undefeated streak?" And I'm like, well, if I'm looking at the schedule, the only team that looks like that has a chance are the Browns. And Greg Cherry pops up and he's like,
Yeah, no,
the Steelers beat the Browns 38-7. I'm like, week 17. If the
it doesn't
Browns
matter.
keep well, if the Browns keep playing the way they were minus that 1 week, and if the Steelers keep dominating, there's a possibility. I don't know how big of a chance is yet because that's a game 8 weeks away. Who knows what could
Mm.
happen? Steelers and Browns would be a pretty good matchup, I think, and that could, if the Steelers can go 15-0 before week 17, I think they might have a chance. The other teams in the series, no. I would love to see the Dallas do it because they're playing, I think, week 9, but no.
Michael says Baltimore will beat Pittsburgh this week.
No,
Nope.
not
Nope.
even with Bryant. No,
Nope.
no. I am taking the Steelers this week. Spoiler alert in my predictions.
There you go.
For
So yeah, and I think it's cool that we've got two guys in the in the extended fam, if you will, that their team is undefeated. I think that's really cool. And I again, the Cowboys and the Steelers. There's always that. We got more rings. We've got there's always that little ass chapping going on between the two teams. But I am
Oh
very
yeah.
happy for Pittsburgh. Greg and I have been friends for a very long time, and Big G and I are getting well acquainted. And thanks to HBO, I'm getting a lot of good shit on my TV. But it's a really cool thing that they're getting this because Pittsburgh has all the rings and everything, but they don't really have that, that dominant season in recent years. So it's cool to see them kind of heading toward 16-0, which is really neat. I like that a lot. So
It
it's
would
very
be
very
great
cool.
to see it again. I promise you that.
It would indeed.
All right, the Chargers and the Jaguars took on each other. Chargers ended up winning 39-29.
There you go.
Gardner Minshew only went 14 of 27 for 173 yards. Justin Herbert 300. I didn't get the stats on him. I didn't get his completion ratio. Oh well, sorry about that, Justin. But he did go for 347 yards with 3 touchdowns. And Justin Herbert actually got some yardage in the rushing game. He went for 66 yards. I don't remember if it was one of the touchdowns or not. But the Chargers ended up winning, which is a good thing. And along with SoFi Stadium, but that's the Monday night game. So we have one more game left, and it was a game that I missed. I did not make a pick on this game, and I even failed to mention that this game existed, which counts as an incorrect loss for me. Kansas City took on Denver. Patrick Mahomes went 15 of 23 for 200 yards. Drew Lock went 24 of 40 for 254 yards. The Chiefs have beaten the Broncos 10 straight against Denver, and they did it a-okay there. And finally, the Monday night game, the Bears come into SoFi Stadium, and they lose to the Rams 24-10, I believe the score was. It was 24-23. I think it was 24. I
Sounds
really don't
right.
remember because I didn't write it down. I should have. I apologize. Nick Foles went 28 of 40 for 261 yards. No touchdowns. Jared Goff went 23 of 33 for 219 yards, and he scored 2 touchdowns, which meant, of course, today, go get your Jumbo Jacks. I think the Rams are feeding people greatly with Jumbo Jacks. You got to have your Jumbo Jacks. Nick Foles, though, has the interception streak going on, which is the longest in the NFL. He's gone 6 straight games with an interception, and we want that streak to be broken quickly. So that's all the
Right.
games for Week 7. Overall, I broke even on the week with my picks. I went 7-7, and that puts me at I believe I'm at 52-50 for the overall season. I actually, if I have that piece of paper handy, which I think I do, yes. My overall record is 54, 51, and 2. So I'm still up on the season, and of course that's with point spreads. That's not with picks unless a pick is made. And so if I was going to Vegas every week with $1,600 or however much money was for the week, and I plunk down my money and I say put $100 on these teams, right now I'd be at a $500 profit. So I'm getting lucky with my picks. I'm happy to break even because if you break even in Vegas, it's considered a win. Ain't that the truth? So
There you
now
go.
that we're done with all the lists, it's time for the Week 7 power rankings.
Dun 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 dun
Let's
dun
get
dun.
done. I think we do need like a little lead-in music for
A
that.
little
We got to
bumper there,
find
yeah.
something, but
Although before you start the predictions,
yeah, a little bumper.
a NoDQ friend posted this on Twitter.
What's that? Super Bowl contenders, Super Bowl hopefuls trying to make the playoffs club only win if they're playing a bad team club. Okay. Undercover trash club, trash. Don't even deserve to be mentioned club, and good luck Trevor Lawrence club. Okay, let me keep this up a little bit. Let me take a closer look at this. Super Bowl contenders: Chiefs, Buccaneers, Steelers, Ravens, Packers, and Seahawks. Um, I would say switch the Ravens with the Titans because I think the Titans are more of a contender than the Ravens are. Trying to make the playoffs clubs, Rams, Colts, Lions. The Raiders making the playoffs? Yeah, right. I mean, come on. Panthers, Saints. I would actually put the Raiders in the lower one. I would put the Browns as a Super Bowl hopeful. Undercover Trash Club. I wouldn't go that low. And then of course, I mean, stop. I don't like it when people are trashing the Cowboys. I really don't. So there's my quick thoughts on that. Not a bad graphic there. I kind of like it. I would tweak it a little bit.
I thought it was just funny that
But
one of our guys put it up there, while I'm on there, I'm like, oh, I gotta put this on Mike's show. All right,
it's
here we
clever.
go. Power rankings.
Yeah, it's clever. It's smart.
There you go.
Power rankings. All right, starting at the bottom of the list with no change. They're 0-7. They lost to Buffalo, the Jets. Like I said, Week 8 coming up. Le'Veon Bell, maybe they'll get their first win. We shall see. The next team lost to Philadelphia, 22-21. No change again, but they are not the bottom because they have a win. The New York Giants. Dropping one spot in their loss to the Chargers. That would be Jacksonville.
Hang on, I had a freeze here. Hold up. Sorry.
It's all right. Go ahead. Gotta get the bugs out of the system somehow.
Mucker feather. Anyway.
There we go.
Hi, Tony.
Jaguars. One spot down. Hi, Tony. How you doing? Next spot. Dropping another spot from last week thanks to losing to Green Bay. Houston
means that we're back down another spot.
Yep. A team that has dropped 2 spots thanks to losing to Detroit at the last second. Atlanta. Next team, they were on their bye week. They stayed exactly where they needed to be. The Vikings. They haven't. That's a good thing when you're on your bye week and you stay put.
That's it. That's all you can do.
There it is. That's right. Next team dropping 2 spots thanks to their loss to Cleveland, the Bengals.
Oh, my Bengals, goodness sakes.
A big jump for the next team. They beat Dallas, 5 spots up. Yeah, I know.
Bitch,
Washington. 5 spots. Next team, they only dropped 3 because they lost. Put up the blue. Let's see the star. Dallas.
Grumble, bitch, moan.
Grumble. That's okay. We'll see what happens in the Week 8 here. Next up, another team that dropped 3 spots thanks to their loss to Kansas City, giving up 43 points. The Broncos. Next team, they didn't move at all. They stayed in the same spot, even though losing to San Francisco and giving up 33 points. The Patriots. Next team, moving up 4 spots after beating Jacksonville. In SoFi. The Chargers.
First home win this year for the Chargers.
Home win, yes. Good one at that. Next one, they beat New York. They moved up 3 spots. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fuck the Eagles.
Next up, they dropped a spot because they lost to the Saints, and that would be Carolina. Next up, they gained a spot because they beat Atlanta, and now they're in the top 20, the Lions. Next team was on their bye week. They actually dropped a spot, which is a rarity, and that would be Miami. Next up, dropping 2 spots after losing to Tampa Bay. Las Vegas, the Raiders. After taking out the Patriots 33-6, they gained 2 spots. San Francisco, open your golden gate.
Question:
Yes.
how is Dallas ahead of Washington?
How is Dallas ahead? How is Dallas ahead of Washington? Dallas is ahead of Washington because, and I will bring up my reasoning. Dallas is ahead of Washington because Dallas has scored 176 points over Washington's 133. If you remember, and if you don't, that's okay. The way I put them in the rankings is first by their record, and then by how many points the team has scored, and then by how many points the team has given up. So Dallas has a 43-point lead over Washington. Washington's only scored 133 points, so that's how Dallas is ahead. I don't do the official NFL tiebreakers. They have their own thing, and that's for the playoffs, which I haven't really figured out yet. So I'm just keeping it simple right now. Good question, Michael. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you,
Okay,
Michael.
next up is where did we leave off with Frisco?
The Niners,
Yes. Yeah, the next team they gained a spot after defeating Carolina. Harley Baby 45 is happy that the Saints are ranked number 14.
Oh, when the
They
Saints
might
go
get into
marching
the top
up.
10. Yeah, if they score enough points, they might be in the top 10 in 2 weeks, I think. Probably by week 9, they'll be in the top 10. Next up, they were on their bye week, the Colts. But they ended up losing 2 spots. They didn't play, so that kind of hurt them.
Right.
A big drop for the next team. Losing to the Rams really did hurt them. They dropped 6. The Bears. The Bears. After beating the Jets, which let's face it, anybody can do that now, and only gaining a spot. Team number 11, the Bills.
God damn, ruthless, Mikey, ruthless.
Well, like I say, it's the Jets. What can I say? And now we're in the top 10. Next team,
all right.
They gained 3. They
also
beat the
won
Bears.
At home.
Also won at home. Like I said, SoFi was the place to be.
SoFi was the place to be. That's it, brother. I love it.
Yeah. Next up, they beat the Raiders 45-20. They are ranked number 9. They dropped us. Now this is a weird one here. The Buccaneers actually won their game, but lost a spot. That's a rarity. They're still in the top 10, but they dropped. One little spot isn't going to hurt, but that's rare. Usually, if you win, you move up, but depending on the points, it's something different. Team number 8 gaining 2 spots thanks to the Battle of Ohio. The Browns.
There you go.
Browns are the team number 8. Team number 7, they had to go to overtime to do it. They gained 2 spots.
But they did it.
The Redbirds, the Cardinals. Team number 6. They were on their bye week, but they lost 2 spots because a lot of teams did better. The Purple of the Ravens. We're now in the top 5. And this loss knocked them down 3 spots. They're at the bottom of the top 5. Let's tighten up and bring in Tennessee.
Excuse me, sorry.
Team number 4, they get back into their winning ways. They defeated Houston 35-20. Go Pack Go, Green Bay. Team number 3, they're no longer undefeated. They are 5-1. They dropped 2 spots. The Green Birds of the Seattle Seahawks. Team number 2, defeating Denver, gaining 3 spots, but it's just not enough. Even though they put up 43 big points, the Chiefs only leaves 1 team left. The only undefeated team in the league, 6-0, thanks to beating Tennessee. Put it up there, Steeler Nation, the yellow and black. There you go. There's your number 1 team. All right. Way to go, Steelers. Let's see what happens with you guys in Week 8. And now let's get down to business with our Week 8 predictions. The teams that are off are the Cardinals, the Washington football team, the Jaguars, and the Texans. Those guys are off and they get a break. the next game coming up to start off Week 8 will be the Falcons and the Panthers. Panthers, I'm giving up 2.5 points for that one, so that should be an easy cover for Carolina. The Patriots take on the Bills. I'm going with the Bills on this one because of the Patriots' constant downward spiral here. It's a 4.5 point spread, so I think the Bills can cover that. I really don't think the Patriots are going to win this one unless they pull off a miracle. Tennessee takes on Cincinnati. I'm taking Tennessee at a 4.5 point spread with that. Even though the Bengals put up a lot of points in Week 7, I think Tennessee can cover that. Las Vegas takes on Cleveland. Cleveland has a -3, so that should be easily covered. I'm not going to take the Raiders over the Browns. I think the Browns are going to continue their dominance as they've been doing. The Lions and the Colts. I'm taking the Lions, and I have a 2.5 advantage. Should be no problem. I'm actually the Lions have done quite well for me in the past 2 weeks, so I'm going to stick with that. This is the rematch from Week 1, Green Bay and Minnesota, but they are playing in Minnesota at Green Bay. Remind me, Green Bay is Lambeau, right?
Yes, sir.
Lambeau Field. Okay, an interesting thought here, or an interesting statement by my roommate Dory. She thinks the Vikings can do better on the road against the Packers. I disagreed with that, and I'm taking Green Bay at a -7 because Green Bay is dominant. So I would love to see an upset. I wouldn't mind it.
Right.
I would gladly give up that game as a loss, but I don't know. Kirk Cousins needs to really buckle down against Rodgers, and this, like I said, rematch of Week 1. Raiders against the Dolphins. I'm taking the Raiders with a -3.5. It's Miami, so I don't think I should worry about that. The Saints take on the Bears. Drew Brees has got the momentum, so 2.5 minus for the Saints. Seahawks against the 49ers. I think the Seahawks will rebound from the loss against Arizona at a 4.5 point spread, so not a worry there. Now, Dallas and Philly. You want the stadium to implode?
Right? Yeah, seriously.
You don't know what's going to happen with the third string
I don't.
quarterback. So I'm taking the 7.5 points. I'm giving Dallas another chance. I want to see them do this. And now the only thing that won't happen, and I'm going to talk about the standings really quickly. Even if Dallas does beat Philadelphia, Dallas will be at 3-5. Philly will
Right.
be 2-5-1, and because of that tie, I learned this: a tie is considered half a win and half a loss.
Right.
This is why Philadelphia is constantly ahead. So
Fuckers.
if Dallas can beat Philadelphia, which I'm really hoping they were, points regardless, doesn't matter. And then they go on to Week 9, where they face the Steelers. They're going to have an uphill battle. Hopefully by Week 10, I want to see the Dallas up top. I really do, bro. I'm not going to give up on Dallas. I'm really not. And I like I say, I love you, bro, but stop burying your team.
Right. It's not that I'm burying them, Mikey. It's just so frustrating because, we keep having these damn off seasons where we get all this, press and this news, and Dak gets the franchise card, and it's just all this shit happens, and then we fall apart, and it's just so goddamn frustrating after not winning one in almost 30 years. It chaps my ass.
I know it does, and I'll probably stop if we get to like Week 12. I think that's when I'm going to start saying, okay, it's over. I'm giving them another month. I'm giving them the next 4 weeks.
There you
Like I said, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Pittsburgh, no doubt, even with a 5.5 plus, I think they'll handle that easily. Chargers take on the Broncos. Chargers at a -1.5, so I'm taking the Chargers on that one. And the Monday night game, Tampa Bay and the Giants. They are. I'm taking Tampa Bay at a 10.5, and I missed one So let me now this is the biggest point spread I've seen all season. The Jets are taking on the Chiefs. This is the big game. I can't believe I actually skipped that. And the Chiefs are a 20.5 minus, meaning Vegas is saying that the Chiefs are going to win by 3 touchdowns. And I'm going with that bet.
There you go.
Like I say, I'm trying to unless Le'Veon Bell is the greatest thing in the world and he can make the Jets work.
He's not
Three
with
and
the
a half
Jets anymore. Remember?
touchdowns. That's my money bet.
He's not with the Jets. He's not with the Jets.
I mean, he's with the Chiefs. Excuse me.
There you go.
He signed with the Chiefs again.
Right.
Okay, so then that's pretty much a safe bet. 3 touchdowns, and if that happens, then he's going to be on his high horse, and probably by week 9, I'm going to say the Jets are done, because if you're 0-9, you are not getting in the playoffs, even if you win every single game. Those are my picks. My picks are locked in for week 8. And
but before
I'd like to announce, yes.
Oh, you announce. Go ahead, by all means. Make your announcement first.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well,
go ahead.
We have several questions in the chat room.
Breathe.
That's why
Okay,
breathe.
fine,
Damn it, let me talk. So here, all right. So I so am I. Dwayne says, "Do you think Tampa's going to the Super Bowl?"
I will definitely say yes to the playoffs. Depending on which other teams in the NFC go into the playoffs. For right now, I'm going to say it's a strong possibility. So ask me that in about 4 weeks, Dwayne.
Okay.
I'll definitely say yes to the playoffs, and depending on where things fall with the rest of the standings, I'll put that as a possibility. I'll put that as a strong possibility that Tampa Bay will go to the Super Bowl. Will they win it and give Brady his 7th ring? Depends on who they play.
Right.
Depends on who they play. What's next?
Michael says, "Who do you think wins the MVP if the season ends right now?"
Russell Wilson, hands down.
Really?
Russell Wilson, hands down. He's got 22 touchdowns. A pretty good completion ratio. Touchdowns wins games. In fact, in my announcement, I'll tell you why in just a second. But yeah, I'm going to say Russell Wilson gets the MVP. I mean, he was just dominant, throwing all those touchdowns left and right. Without a doubt, Russell Wilson. Even though the Steelers and Roethlisberger are 6-0, I'm still going to go with Russell Wilson. And you can do that in football.
You can. Very true. Harley Baby says she's very happy, so there you go. Mike also says don't count out the Giants. I count them out week 1. Fuck them. And the Giants own Tom Brady? Okay. Sure. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
A side bet. How many times will the Giants sack Tom Brady? I'll say 3.
Gotta get to him first, baby.
I'll say 3 times. All right. So now here's my announcement for week 8. Week 8 is going to be the unofficial halfway point of the season. So we're going to do kind of like a little mid-season review. I'm going to rank the quarterbacks, and this ranking the quarterback thing is going to be based on 5 things: their completion ratio, their pass to completion, passing yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and sacks. I'm putting all the info together. I'm going to it's going to be like a power ranking thing, but it's only going to be for the mid-season. I'm not going to rank the quarterbacks every season like I do the team.
Right.
And that's why I say Russell Wilson, I think, is going to be the MVP as of now. Like I said, he doesn't lead in passing yards. I believe that's Matt Ryan the last time I checked. But he does lead in touchdowns, and that's why I'm saying right now he's number 1. While I figure out all the numbers and everything, I think he'll top. Then we're also going to do kind of like a mid-season award type thing: who's doing the best, who's doing the worst, team-wise. And right now, of course, that would be the Steelers and the Jets. Also, starting week 8, we're going to start doing playoff scenarios. So we're going to look at the standings a little bit more closely. We're going to see which teams would be in if the playoffs were to start today, and the way the playoff structure is this way. So follow that. Each division leading team, they are automatically in. So right now the first four teams in the AFC West would be the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Titans, and the Bills. In the NFC, it would be the Seahawks, the Packers, the Bucks, and the Eagles. Even though they have the lowest record, they're still the number one team in the division. It's kind of like a loophole. Then the next three teams following the division leaders are considered wild cards. In the AFC, right now, that would be the Ravens, the Browns, and the Colts. In the NFC, it would be the Cardinals, the Bears, and the Chargers. Or the Rams, excuse me, the Rams. Mm-hmm. And then the tournament structure, the number one teams right now being the Steelers and the Seahawks, they go into the second round. The remaining six teams, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5. That's your wild card weekend. Those three teams advance. Then, in the divisional playoff, the number one team, the teams get reseeded in your standard 1-4 or 2-3 or first versus the worst, and then the top two teams after that. Then those four teams turn into two. We do the AFC and the NFC championship, and then the last two teams go to the Super Bowl. That's how the playoffs are going to work this week. So after every week, we're going to look at all the standings and go on a scenario by scenario thing, because it's now halfway through the season, and that's what we're going to do with that. Again, as far as baseball comes up, stay tuned to the channel around the 8th inning, probably around maybe 6:30, 6:45, 7 o'clock on the West Coast. We're going to take a look at the score. We're going to make the decision. I say we go live regardless of the score. The Dodgers could come back. We don't know, but stay tuned to that. We're going to do a live watch along. That's what I'm calling it. Jeff, you're the producer. You can call it what you want. But
do that.
And we'll see if the Dodgers end up pulling off the season.
I will leave you with this, Mikey. I have a wrestling stat and a wrestling trivia stat for you, sir. As of this morning, Nick Aldis has reached 1,000 days combined as the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. His current reign is 738 days. Right. So as of today, he is tied with the chosen one, Jeff Jarrett, on the combined days list at 8th place. Next up in 7th place was champion for a combined total of 1,078 days. Who is that man?
What federation are we talking?
The NWA.
Oh, see, I don't know anything about the NWA. NWA. This was a question on WTC too. This was brought up.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
You sure? I thought it was.
Yeah, I'm positive, brother.
I want to say, was it Jarrett? No, it wasn't Jarrett.
God damn it! Hang on a second.
For some reason, Shamrock's popping into my head too.
There we go. Okay. Yeah. So right now,
go ahead.
Nick is in tied in 8th place with Jeff Jarrett. 7th place has 1,078 days.
Someone's telling me it's Shamrock.
Shamrock?
I don't know if I'm right.
In his one reign, no.
No.
Hang on.
I'm wrong.
I will cue it up and you will hate yourself. Just hang on one second.
I'm probably going to hate myself. Go ahead.
Probably. Let me see if I can get the share screen going. Just stand by, kids. Okay. I need to find video. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Chrome tab. Okay. Mikey.
I could have looked this up and probably gotten the answer by now.
Right, Mikey. Do honor system. Close your eyes. Okay, promise? Okay, very good.
Why do you want me to close my eyes?
Because I don't want you to see the screen.
I didn't see anything.
There we go. Okay, very good. Ready?
It went up too fast. Because I'm buzzed up to all hell.
I am going to tell him he's going to fly home from the PC and whoop your ass. That's a scrap daddy, baby.
Oh, no.
You're dead. You are dead.
Oh, no.
You're so dead, dude. You're so dead.
Sorry,
done.
Adam.
You done fucked up.
Well, that's what happens. That's what happens when you drink a half a bottle of wine while.
What happens
doing
when you drink and you don't stay supervised by the scrap daddy during your drinking? Say shame on you. Well, I'll go ahead and close the show since Mikey's gone.
No, you won't. No, you won't. I can close my own show.
Okay, good. Good boy.
So, thank you all for watching, and again,
do the plugs.
Follow me.
Not
Me
that
on
plug.
Twitter at LB77. That's the only plug I got. But
Hello.
Oh God, it's hot in here. Oh yes, take over, Jeff. I can't handle it anymore. Buy a shirt.
Teespring.com/store/FH Network for your official shirts of the Custody Teen Brotherhood and my own shirts, which I'm wearing right now. You can let me just get my happy ass up there. It's brand new. It's off the presses. It's here. It's live. Buy your shirt. JeffMeachamNetwork.com. Catch us on Anchor. Catch us on YouTube. Catch us everywhere you get your podcast. But please catch us and give us a 5-star rating. Give us a feedback. Let us know how we're doing. If we're doing like shit, let us know. If we're doing great, let us know. Stay tuned tonight. A couple hours from now, when the game gets to the top of the 8th, we'll be live.
I think so, yes. Hopefully I'll sober up by then.
Until then, tip your waitresses, close your tabs, and you ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here.
Stat Boy out.